And what's going on, everybody? Weston Hodkiewicz from the Green Bay Press-Gazette, joined alongside Press-Gazette beat writer Pete Dougherty. We are here in Indianapolis for the 2013 NFL Scouting Combine. Today, Pete, we looked at offensive linemen, tight ends, and specialists. Looking at those offensive linemen, especially from the tackle spot there, you look at the Packers, they have Brian Bulaga coming off that hip injury. Derek Sherrod, not really sure what you're going to have with him. They don't have Jeff Saturday coming back, so there could also be a need in the interior of that line. That looks like a spot right now for the Packers that they might want to actually really consider going into this draft.
Oh, I'm sure they'll draft at least one lineman, before the draft is over. I think there's an outside chance they could take one in the first. They've had two in the last 3 years, so you wouldn't think it's real likely. But as you said, with the shaky future, a couple of those guys, I think it seems like they like Marshall Newhouse and that he still has a lot of room to grow. But I think they'd also like to bring in somebody who could compete for that job with him, let the best man win. There's a couple interesting guys that could be available late in the first round who'd be possibilities. One guy is Melanick Watson. He's from, I think it's Manchester, England, and he came to the United States to play basketball at Marist. Decided he couldn't play in the NBA, so he switched to football and ended up at Florida State. He's only played 2 years of football, but he's a really talented guy, and they're saying he could go late first round.
It's really smart, too. I think you have to realize if you're playing at Marist, you're probably not headed for the NBA. Florida State, that's a little bit better.
Didn't Rick Smits play at Marist? I think he did. So
1984 or whatever.
Yeah, that's nuts.
All right, well, the other side of the things that happen here, we get to see a lot of these coaches and personnel people as well. Talking today, John Dorsey, the new general manager for Kansas City, wasn't speaking today. Andy Reid did, and also John Snyder, the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, who also came from the personnel department of the Packers. The last 3 years, Ted Thompson's front office has had a guy take over a team here in the NFL. Dorsey's the newest one. Just turning it to you on Dorsey, and John Snyder talked really glowingly of him today, but he has a big task ahead of him in Kansas City, considering they do have the first overall pick. They only had 2 wins last year. What do they need to do, and what do you think of Dorsey going in there and trying to turn that ship around?
Well, they've got talent on defense, so if they find a quarterback, they can get good fast. I thought the most interesting thing we learned today was that John Dorsey went to UConn, and John Schneider said that apparently at his pro day, Dorsey moved the cone on the 40-yard dash, moved the cone up a yard, so he only ran 38.9 yards instead of 40. He still ran a 4.8.
That's what you see, though. I mean, the differences from the 1980s to now and the changes they've made with the scouting combine.
A little tougher to pull off today, yeah.
Well, tomorrow we go right back at it. You'll have some more offensive linemen. There were still some that didn't talk today. I'm guessing they'll be back out there tomorrow. Quarterbacks, wide receivers. Also think we get a chance to look at those running backs as well. So be sure to check into PackersNews.com. We'll have all our updates, blogs. I'll be chatting tomorrow after Ted Thompson speaks at 11 a.m. Check all that stuff out. But for Pete Dougherty, I'm Weston Hodkiewicz. We'll see you tomorrow.